What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to A College Coach Rebuilds the Atlanta Hawks. And apparently, y'all, we are not done with the rebuild. We got bounced in the second round, and you know what? In all honesty, we exceeded expectations this last season. The season didn't start out all that great. We were a young basketball team. We ended up making a move for Keegan Murray in the middle of the season, who ended up becoming kind of a second star for us. I don't want to call him a second star, but we're trying to get him there at the end of the day, and we ended up getting the first seed, right? Exceeded all those expectations. Super, super cool. Then we ran into a really talented duo in the Toronto Raptors who gave us fits during the season because they have Evan Mobley and Scotty Barnes, and we just had no answer for them. So now we're entering the offseason. We're doing our offseason workouts with these boys, and we're just trying to get better. The good thing is we're really, really young, right? We still got Alex Sarr on the team. Dylan Harper, our best player, was a rookie this last season, right? We got Topic that's going to be hopefully getting better. Guys like CJ McCollum are going to be getting older, and that's unfortunate. But we're going into the offseason now, and we're going to try to address whatever needs we have. But a lot of it is just keeping this group together, trying to stay close, and trying to develop some cohesiveness that can actually turn into some winning basketball. But anyway, y'all, let's get out of practice mode and let's get into the offseason. I'm very, very interested to get into this, see what players we have available, see what we have to do. Like Alex Sarr, we just have to pick up like his option and everything. Same with Topic. But like these guys could keep getting better. Like they're only in like their second seasons. I'm excited to see where we can go with these guys. But without further ado, let's get into this offseason. LeBron's retiring. So this is how I'm treating like offseason stuff like this. Like I can't tell LeBron to not retire at this point. I already did it once. If guys are over, say, a 75 overall, I'm just going to tell them they should stick around because they can still somewhat contribute, like a Mike Conley, but I already told him not to. Kevin Love, like, nope, I can't tell him to do it either, but that's kind of just how I'm going to go through and do all this. If you guys were curious at all, these are the coaches that are retiring. Steven Silas, been in the league for 26 years going out, so crazy for him. Hall of Fame, we know LeBron James and Russell Westbrook going into the Hall of Fame. Man, what do you guys remember most about Russell Westbrook? Like, I'm always going to remember that triple-double season where he had to, like, hit that game-winning shot to even send them to the playoffs that year, and he got the MVP. That was a crazy season. I remember watching that game the same night as Kobe's last game, so that'll always stand out to me. And then I'll always remember LeBron for bouncing my Bulls every single year for just, like, the whole 2010s. And I hated LeBron for so long. Like, hate is a strong word, but you guys know what I mean by that in, like, a rivalry sense. But these last couple years, I've been able to just, like, enjoy LeBron James, right? And be like, man, like, this is the greatness of him, and I just want to appreciate him while he's still in the league in real life. Let's see some jersey retirements here. Who do we got getting retired? LeBron in a bunch of different places. Blake Griffin for the Clippers, that makes some sense, and Russell Westbrook in OKC. Man, absolutely legendary runs by all these guys. But now, y'all, right here is where the real offseason starts. This is where it starts to get interesting, is the NBA draft lottery. All right, y'all, and this is where the offseason really starts to get going, is the draft lottery. If I remember correctly, I don't think we actually have anything for this at this point, and I think that's because we traded up to get Dylan Harper or something, so not anything all that interesting, but the Wizards could be adding another person. I'm probably just going to skip the lottery since we're not a part of it and see who ended up getting it. The Pelicans move up to 1. Do they still have Zion? The Wizards get 2. The Knicks get 3. Interesting. The Spurs still have the 5th pick in the draft, and for those of you that don't know, they have Victor Wembanyama right now. They have Cooper Flagg. They have like Trey Johnson. Like they've got a crazy young core going on right now, along with like DeJounte Murray, Devin Vassell, and all the boys you know in real life. So absolutely crazy timing. Who do we need to bring on to our staff here? We need a CFO. We've been doing a good job of making money. If you guys remember at the beginning of the series, it was a real struggle for us to go out and like make some money, and that's something that the Atlanta Hawks struggle with in real life. So going out and trying to find a good CFO is going to be important for us. Otherwise, like, looking like we've got most of everything else kind of filled out. Yeah, everyone else is on pretty fresh contracts. Like, this was our first season kind of having a true staff. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look through these CFOs and, like, who's got the best money sense right here? Is this Cody Wagner? Like, can we offer him this? Yeah, okay, we can. I'm not going to offer him, like, that much. I'll offer him, like, 9 City. I'll offer him, like, 960. You going to take it? Boom. There we go. We've got our staff and everything. Welcome to the team, Cody Wagner. Make sure we keep making all of our money and everything, and I'm just gonna skip up here to the NBA draft, and this is where we start to make some decisions. Okay, so we have no draft picks in this class currently, so that's not like the worst thing in the world. Do we necessarily need it? No, like this is a decent draft class for the most part. Like we can go look at some of the prospect scouting here and taking a look at some of these names. Cameron Boozer's a guy that we've seen like in real life look like he's going to be pretty solid. Carlos Boozer's kid. The other Boozer should probably be in here too. Yeah, Caden Boozer. I'm not familiar with like a ton of these names either though. This Darren Peterson looks like he's going to be a dude. This, how do you say his name? Dibansa, AJ Dibansa. Sorry if I butchered that. I'm sure I did, but they're saying he's Kevin Durant Hall of Fame type dude. Okay. Where does he? They have him going to USC. Fair enough. But wow, decent draft class. Are we going to be trading to get in? Not necessarily, but let's just take a look at like the roster we have now, or more so like our trade finder, and see just kind of like who's on the team, who's coming off the team, so we can start making some decisions. So obviously Alex Sarr has an option. That's totally fine. Topic has an option. That's totally fine. What about the rest of these guys? How are our contracts looking? Like a Kongwu's still here. That's cool. Dylan Harper's there. CJ McCollum's got a... Oh, that's right. His contract drops a bunch now because we did give him an extension originally. So now he's only going to be making like $7 million. That's totally fine. We still have Trey Murphy on the team for a couple years. We got Bones locked up for a while. Trey Lyles still has a year. So we've got like everybody but Keegan Murray, which is a very important one. Oh, we're going to have to bring Justin Edwards back too. Justin Edwards was a guy we developed as we took him with a second round pick. And yeah, we're going to be looking to bring both these guys back, both as restricted free agents. So that's where most of our money's probably going to go this off season. If we take a look at like our actual like finances, let's go to the salary cap breakdown right here. We got $30 million in cap space right now. We're going to have to bring back Sarr and Topic, obviously. So I'm not too worried. I don't think between... Well, Keegan Murray's probably going to cost me a decent amount of money, isn't he? So that's going to take us into the luxury tax, but that's okay. As long as we don't get into those aprons, I think we're going to be just fine. Are there any players that I necessarily don't want on the team going forward? Like Trey Lyles was pretty solid for us this last season, and he's making... How much money is he making for us? Trey Lyles making $2 million. He's got that 87 three-pointer. It's nice to have the spacing there, and he's just really consistent at a lot of things. He's a solid defender, solid rebounder, so I'm not all that worried about that. I like that TJ McConnell's still on the team. Just like to have him as a vet out there, so I'm not too worried about that. I like having Garrison Matthews on the team as just a guy that's been around for a while. He's just a fan favorite whenever he gets in the game, but otherwise, like, I like Trey Murphy, obviously Harper, Okongwu, Bones. All these dudes are key players to our team, and I want to keep CJ around. He's just our vet at this point, so I don't think there's anybody that I necessarily want to trade. I think we're just kind of going to go into the draft. We'll watch like part of it maybe. Do I want to watch any of the draft? Let's watch some of the draft. Why the hell not? Let's see who these guys are picking up so that we can compare and see where they finish off. Darren Peterson. Okay, so they didn't take that AJ dude who's apparently Kevin Durant to pair with Zion. I think that would have been cool, but a shooting guard makes some sense for them, I would imagine. Are the Wizards going to take this dude? No. Kadeen Melach, 7'3", 240 out of Sudan. Yeah, no, he sounds like he's out of Sudan. Big motherfucker right here. Big motherfucker. Let's see. Towering height, ridiculous wingspan, no-brainer selection for this shot. If that's what you guys say. The Knicks get the KD dude from USC. It's unclear if OG Anunoby will sign a new contract. Well, y'all don't need him now. Y'all got Kevin Durant, apparently, so don't even worry about it. Orlando Magic, we have a trade to announce, though. What do we got for the trade? Let me see. The 4th overall pick and a second for Lauri Markkanen. Whoa, going to Orlando to play with Paolo and Franz and them boys. They had a nice team, actually, in Orlando last season. So it's not crazy to say that they're like, we don't need like another young dude, because I think they got bounced in the second round, too. They lost to Detroit, I'm pretty sure. So bringing in Lauri Markkanen, damn, they've got a real dynamic, like, 2 through 4, if you want to put like Franz, Markkanen, Paolo, something like that. That's crazy. Next up, Jazz on the clock. There goes Cameron Boozer going to the Jazz, just where his dad really started to hoop and was like an all-star level player. So that's kind of cool in that sense. Does he have the quickness to guard NBA speedsters? Oh, that's an interesting question to ask there. Who are the Spurs doing? Oh, the Spurs don't need any more young guys either. They're starting to win. They want to win. The 5th pick for Paul George and James Harden. What the shit? So I know they're old and everything, but like, holy shit, like they're bringing in some vets to pair with these young dudes, man. That's crazy. Okay, what a trade right there. And that was a Bulls pick. What did the Bulls do to lose that pick? Can't even imagine. Jason Shannon, so apparently that's who the Clippers ended up wanting for that one. They must be completely blowing things up at this point if that's what they're doing. All right, the Bucks are out there. Jasper Johnson, a point guard. Hey, yeah, no, that sounds like what you need. Dame's getting older and everything. Who do we got here? Jacob Wilkins out of here. I'm not going to pretend like I know who any of these motherfuckers are. I just want to see if there's any more trades in the lottery, and there are. What do we have here? The 8th overall pick is going for Cam Thomas and a swap best in 2028. Interesting. Grizzlies trying to bring in a little bit more scoring onto this team. Okay. Any other trades? Koa Pete. All these names are going to mean something one day. Well, not guaranteed, I guess, but, is what it is. You know what's funny? Funny story. I found out about Wembanyama probably about 4 years ago because me and a buddy were playing like a simulated 2K league as like in college or whatever, and we went like so many years into the future or something, and we were like 7-3-7-4 Victor Wembanyama out of France. We were like, he's going to be the GOAT. He's just going to be the GOAT because he was really good at everything in the draft class, and we all joked about it. And then when he really hit like the mainstream in like the last like 2 years, we were like, there's Wemby. There he is. He's real. So you never know, man. This might be where we discover some people. Who do we got now? Sixers, Caleb Wilson. Interesting. Jazz with another pick. Andor Boateng. That's a sick name. I'm not going to lie. That's powerful as shit. There goes Caden Boozer. Fair enough. Last lottery pick we got here is Bryson Tiller. All right, fair enough. I'm going to sim to the end of the draft, and we'll show you guys, like, all the picks and everything if you guys are curious. Did anybody get any steals of guys? It looks like here the Sixers got, like, a 75 overall with, like, the 18th pick. That's kind of cool. Keon Anthony. Is that supposed to be Kyan Anthony from... Yeah, that's Carmelo's kid. Oh, that's sick as shit. He went to the Pistons where Carmelo should have gone. Wow. Okay, any second round sleepers or anything? Anything that crazy? No, not really. Okay, fair enough. That means we go through rookie signing. Nothing all that interesting. Team player options. You know we bringing our boys back. Welcome back to the squad. And now what do we got here? Luka denies his player option. Is Luka going to go somewhere else? That'd be nuts if that happened. Qualifying offers, yep, we obviously want to extend these to both of these boys. We're just going to be offering them contracts outright. We're not going to be waiting for people to match them. But I want to see, so Luka's got some offers. The Wizards the Wizards are trying to do something. I got to see what the Wizards are cooking up right now, man, because obviously they just took this boy here. Oh, they kind of swung and missed on this, didn't they? But I guess if they're getting Luka, or they think they're getting Luka, what else do they kind of got on the team? Then they got Corey Kispert, they got Denny, they got Kuz, and then they'd have their center. So I guess they're trying to put a team around him. That'd be nuts if he went to Washington. That's like a completely different franchise. Like literally, obviously it's literally a completely different franchise, but kind of crazy. Kevin Durant, unrestricted free agent, going to the Lakers to replace LeBron, possibly going back to the Thunder, maybe. Ooh, the Magic. Magic just trying to build out a super squad right here. Chet Holmgren. Obviously, he's restricted, so I'm not all that interested in that. Trae Young, what are you looking at? The Miami Heat are the only contract offer he's really, like, super interested in. So that'd be crazy. He doesn't scream Miami Heat player to me, but you guys let me know. Jaren Jackson Jr. is available. That's a guy that we looked at some point. Looks like the Knicks are kind of closing in on him. How much did they offer him? 4 years, 64. That's really not a ton of money at the end of the day. There's a lot of restricted free agents here. Chris Middleton, is he leaving Milwaukee? Possibly to Cleveland? Okay. Aaron Gordon, possibly leaving Denver. He's got no offers right now. Otherwise, just a bunch of these guys. Ooh, Ayton, actually. Let me take a look at Ayton. No contract offers right now. I should have just looked at the screen and saw that, but I'm not always the smartest. So, okay. Very, very interesting. Let's not mess around anymore. Let's go get our boys. Let's start out with Keegan Murray, right? This is our boy. He wants $20 million a season. Say less. Say like 20 million. Okay. Yeah, 5 years, 20 million. I think that's a steal for what we're trying to build him into. We'll give you a player option too. So there you go, offering that contract. I'm sure he loves it. Let's take a look. And the Hawks, yep, that's at the top of his list. Rockets, get out of here, you stingy fucks. You guys don't want to give him his 20 mil. We're giving him his 20 mil. And then let's go get our boy here, Justin Edwards. Awesome. He just wants 5 milli. Okay. Oh, yeah, just the one offer is us from restricted free agency. You know what? Like, we'll meet you at 5, man. You put in the hard work. You waited behind us. So 3 years, $5 million each. There you go. Welcome back to the squad. So where is this going to leave us, obviously? Are there any other holes that we could try to plug? Like, we're going to be good at the point guard. I feel pretty solid about that. CJ McCollum's going to regress, right? And that's just how it is. I'm not tripping too much about that, but it could be somebody. At the power forward spot, we're obviously going to have Keegan. So that's something. We'll have Justin Edwards as the backup small forward. Trey Lyles is fine. We got 2 great centers, so I feel good about that. The only thing might be the shooting guard position. And, like, we've got a good amount of money to spend. As you guys see, the $46 million in cap room up there. So is it worth, like, is there another shooting guard that we could bring in, like, off the bench that would make a ton of sense for us? I'll even take a look at, like, some small forwards and stuff. Like, do we bring in, like, a Chris Middleton to have, like, another vet or something like that? Or any of these guys, players that we'd be interested in to have play our backup shooting guard over CJ McCollum? Like, because I just know he's going to regress a ton. He regressed a bunch last season, so is it worth bringing in somebody else now? I don't know. I don't know who it would be. We could go get Grady Dick just to go weaken the Raptors, because he was a problem for us at times. Jaden Ivey doesn't interest me all that much. We're probably going to have like 15-ish million. Colin Sexton, not really the kind of guy I imagine. Gary Trent, like, what does your defense look like, Gary? That's kind of what I figured, but you can shoot the shit out of the basketball. So just looking at, like, what our bench would be then, we're going to have Bones, who is an okay defender, surprisingly. That's interesting. That's not what I would have interpreted him as. CJ McCollum, not as good. Justin Edwards was pretty good for us. Trey Lyles is solid. I wouldn't mind. I don't want to have both my backup guards not be good defensive players. So I feel like if I was to get somebody, they'd have to be able to play solid defense. Like Andrew Nembhard, like, does he make sense? He's not the best shooter in the world. You get an A perimeter defense out of Quentin Grimes, and you get an 86 3-pointer. Now that's kind of interesting to me. He's got no offers. He's a little bit younger, but how did he play last season? And who did he play for? He played for the Clippers. He scored 9 points a game. He shot 41% from 3. Okay, plus minus, the Clippers weren't good last year. That's why they were trying to blow it up the whole time. So I don't. Plus minus is kind of a stat. It's kind of interesting when you start comparing it to, like, other lineups within the team, but just like players individually, it's not always the best one to look at. There's Julian Strother here. That's just kind of a worst version of Q Grimes. Is there anyone else that's, like, all that interesting? Otherwise, I might just throw something at, like, Q Grimes. Is there, do I have to, like, remove somebody else from the team to kind of do that? Yeah, I would have to. So would that mean that I'm, like, trading Garrison Matthews? I mean, maybe somebody's looking for cap relief or something, so maybe I can explore that, because Garrison Matthews is 72 at this point. He's got some good three-point shooting, and that's why I like to keep him on the team. I don't know. I don't want to give up somebody just to give up somebody. I guess I don't have to give up somebody. Maybe I just won't really find, like, a third-string power forward, because I've got guys like Trey Murphy that can play it, right? Justin Edwards, I play there a decent amount of time in the playoffs anyway, so I'm not going to think about it all that much. I'm going to throw something at Q Grimes here, because he don't have no other contracts coming his way, so I'll throw this much at you. Hell, I'll throw no, let's throw a 3-year at him, because then we still get his bird rights and everything, so I feel, or do we? What is it? What is it for bird rights? Is it 3 or 4 years? I don't necessarily remember, and it doesn't tell me on here. Okay, I just looked it up. It's 3 seasons. Okay, so I'll give him the 3 so I can have his bird rights just in case he becomes an absolute demon for us. And here we go. Perfect. Renouncing the rights to Taurean Prince. That's totally fine. Taurean Prince was a nice addition for us midway through the season. And Kyle Anderson didn't do a bunch for us, but he wasn't bad by any means. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip through the moratorium phase just so we can actually see, like, what we're working with financially. All right, let's take a look. So we've got our point guards. We're loaded at the shooting guard spot. That's awesome. We've got 2 of our small forwards. We got power forwards. Like, this is probably where we'll stick for power forwards. We need a reserve center for sure, and then let's go get another small forward. Primarily one that can play the power forward too, since we're not picking up something like that, and we're probably just looking for vets at this point, right? So I think that's how I want to do it. Let's tackle the center position first. Who's, like, the best center? We've got $47 million in cap room, but part of this is because, like, there's extensions and things that I have to do. And let's take a look at these contract extensions. Okongwu will resign. CJ McCollum will resign. That's cool. Garrison Matthews will resign. Okay, not eligible. Yup. Dylan Harper, Alex Sarr. Like, players on can only sign extensions during the offseason prior to their final year of their contract. Isn't that what we're in right now? I feel like 2K never works with like this stuff, so they just have to hit restricted free agency, but whatever. What does Okongwu want? He wants like 9-10 million. Honestly, like, fair enough. I'll just give you your 10 million. There you go. You've been phenomenal for us. He happily accepts. He's like, thank you. Put him in a good mood. CJ McCollum, you just want like a minimum. That's fine. You want to keep making your bread. That makes total sense. And I'll give Garrison Matthews his minimum as well. Garrison Matthews is just our fucking boy. Like, he's just our cool ass white dude that sits at the back of the bench that everybody loves. Like, everybody's got a cool handshake with him. I just love having Garrison Matthews on the squad. Okay, so we can go get like a decent reserve center for this team. Who do we want? Nick Richards I like a lot. I'm going to feel bad not playing these dudes. Like, I don't want to get somebody that's going to be, like, mad either. So let's just take a look at, Zach Edey. He wants a little bit more money. Yaviz Mystery. They spelt his name wrong, but that's okay. Goga Bataze, 250 pounds. That's kind of cool. It'd be nice to have a heavier option. Just looking at, I'm probably overanalyzing this a little bit, but you know what? That's what you're supposed to do. We got 240, we got 217. We could use just like a real big bulky center, couldn't we? Just like a real thick boy to throw out there. Is there anybody that kind of fits that description? It could be like an Omer Yurtseven, right? His inside D is only a B, but he's a good rebounder. He's a really good rebounder. What are we looking at for those rebounding stats? I want to see those. 90 and 90. Okay, 81 block. That's solid. He's 6'11", 275. That's not the worst thing ever for a reserve big man right there, huh? Maybe not the vet that we necessarily wanted to be with Okongwu and Sarr. I'd like to have somebody with a little bit more like experience on the team. Oh, this might be our answer right here. It might be Steven Adams, right? A, rebounding, B+, interior defense. He's going to regress for sure. So that's the one thing is like, the third string center is tough because I don't like to sign guys that can kind of play center. I like centers on my basketball teams. Like, and I feel that way in real life too. And if one of our centers goes down, like for whatever reason, the other one's going to have to play. And so I'm worried that Steven Adams is going to drop to like a 71 or something like that. And that worries me, but he fits the description of what I want. Rudy Gobert legit has no offers. What's his personality? It's neutral. So, like, if I bring him in as just, like, a reserve center, like, is he gonna hate me? He gets to play with Alex Sarr. He gets to play with one of his French boys. So, I'll give you, like, a 1 year, like... That's too much money. I'll give you like a 1 year 8 or something like that to literally come in and just be like, that seems crazy. 1 year, 8 million to come be a reserve for us? Like, we could just stack up though, if nothing else. And if someone goes down, we're going to be really glad we did it. We got to spend the money somewhere. All right, Rudy Gobert, welcome to the team. Let's find a small forward now that we can add to the group. Let's sort by overall, because again, we've got the money to just do it. Who do we want here that could also play the power forward for us? Josh Hart is an interesting one. The three-point shot's not really there right now. AJ Griffin played for us at one point, so we know him and like him. Aaron Wiggins is probably a little bit too short. I'd like to find somebody a little bit bigger. I don't mind the idea of a Simone Fontecchio. That's kind of an interesting one. Obviously, a really good shooter for Detroit in real life. We could go bring in Chris Murray to really make our boy happy. We know he can play the power forward if needed, so that's interesting. He doesn't want a ton of money. Jet Howard's an interesting name, a young guy that maybe could turn into something if given the right opportunity. He's got an A+. He got an 88 three-pointer? God damn. Okay, he just hasn't really been given a shot yet. Do we want another young player, though, or do we want someone that can kind of help develop people? We could always just bring Taurean Prince back. He was solid for us as well, like 84 three-pointer, close shot. I don't know how much worse he's going to get in this next season, but it's a guy, if nothing else. I think we're just going to keep it simple with Fontecchio. I like with these reserves that they just have something that they can like really go to on the basketball court, and him and his shooting just makes a ton of sense to me. So let's just make sure that we get these guys. Is Rudy Gobert? You dick. Well, back to the drawing board. That was just such a cheap move. Yusuf Nurkic has a couple offers. We could take a look at him. People are offering him 3 years, like $13 million. I'm not willing to give him that kind of money, man. I'm just not. Are any of these other dudes like? I just don't think the option's available, man. We might just have to go get somebody that's maybe not as much of a veteran that's just willing to kind of be a third string for us. Because of that, I'm just going to go get Yurtsevin just because I like that he's like a lot bigger and we can use him in that sense if we absolutely need to. So let's go just offer Yurtsevin and yeah, let's move on with our lives. Alrighty, so this gives us our roster going into next season. So the interesting pickups, obviously, Q Grimes. It looks like he's excited to be here. It looks like he could be a nice reserve for us. That's awesome, right? Also just went and added Yurtsevin and Simone Fontecchio. Otherwise, we're kind of rolling it back with the boys. With all that being done, we get to move on to player progression. We'll take a look around the NBA before the end of this video just to see where everybody ended up. But looks like Sar is continuing to improve. He's up to like an 87. That's awesome. Keegan Murray just kind of stayed where he's at. That's kind of where I figured he'd top off. Topic is an 87 as well. Is that true? Oh my goodness, we got a loaded team then. Because yeah, Dylan Harper's up to an 84 already. Bones Highland went down a little bit, which is kind of interesting. I wonder why that is. Q Grimes is going up a little bit. That was a good investment. Trey Lyles dropped a little bit in terms of his interior defense. That's okay. CJ McCollum is dropping down. He's going to be more of a coach for us this season anyway. Otherwise, like, the guys that dropped are the ones that we kind of expected. I don't mind this whatsoever. So let's advance through to the next season, and we'll start to kind of set some real basic things for us. Like, at this point, I'm just going to auto-generate rookies. I think that'll be cooler for the story at this point anyway, if we don't know people. But some of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, like, set everybody's tendencies and everything. You guys know how that works at this point. I do want to take a look at the game plan together, though. So let's sort this. We're going to go back to a 10-man just because we're back in the regular season. And how do we kind of want to do this? They want to play Justin Edwards over our boy Trey Murphy? No, that is not how we're doing this whatsoever. Like, Trey Murphy's our boy, even though he's grumpy most of the time. So Dylan Harper getting 32 minutes. Dylan Harper should be getting the most minutes. He should be getting 34. Keegan Murray should be getting probably 30-some minutes as well. We're dropping Okongwu a little bit more now, so sorry, Onyeka Okongwu fans. We're going to go 33 here for Keegan. Let's give Trey. Trey's probably good where he's at. It's where do we want to sort the rest of these dudes? Because Q Grimes, he has to prove himself just like a little bit to us, but he's got some nice skills, man. He really do. Bones, Busy Bones really dropping down the rotation, but we got so many good guards now. Ooh, so that's tough. We kind of have to prioritize the forwards a little bit more for now. I'm not mad about that, though. So how do I want to do this? So Trey Lyles is the 10th man. That's what I'm cool with that. So only 13 minutes for Busy Bones. Bones Highland, like, what did he average for us last year? He averaged 22. He averaged 20 points a game last year. We can't put him that far down. We can't. We gotta play Bones more, right? Or just Topic and Harper, just like, they're so good now. They're so good. All right, we're gonna start Bones down here, and if we're struggling, we'll move him back up. Otherwise, like, this seems somewhat appropriate. Maybe I should move Okongwu down a little bit just because we want to make sure Sar's on the court as much as possible playing center. All right, this is what I ended up going with. I ended up going with Q Grimes and Edwards. Like, I just kind of balanced out the bench minutes just a little bit more, except for Trey Lyles. Like, I gave Bones a couple more minutes. Okongwu moved down the rotation quite a bit just because, again, like, our young dudes are getting better. If they're unhappy, we can always trade them, right? It's not the biggest deal in the world. We got to prioritize these young guys that we've been growing at the end of the day. So this is how we're going to look for these things. Dylan Harper's going to be the primary scorer this year. That's just what I'm seeing. Again, otherwise it's going to be Keegan Murray, and then we'll defer to like some bench guys if we need to after that. But let's take a look around the NBA and see if there's any interesting teams out here. Holy shit. Hero, Trae Young, Bam, Jimmy Butler. Oh, wow. With Jaime Jaquez and Gary Trent. This is a good basketball team. And they're in our conference, too. That fucking sucks. Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball look like they're going to be a thing. Otherwise, the rest of the team's kind of ass. The Jazz don't look all that interesting here. They're kind of a young team trying to build something. Nothing all that scary here. It's just Fox and Sabonis again. We gave them Jalen Johnson. The Knicks with Jaren Jackson, Julius Randle. OG Anunoby is still here with the future Kevin Durant. That's kind of interesting. There is Kevin Durant on the Lakers with Anthony Davis. Isn't that cool? D'Angelo Russell. Okay, like, that's a good basketball team. You got 290 overalls. You can win some basketball games at the end of the day. This Magic team's going to be tough. I just moved Franz over to the shooting guard for them so that they know to actually play him there with Lauri Markkanen and Banchero. They got Duran, Rob Dillingham, Jalen Suggs. This is a crazy good basketball team, too. Kyrie Irving is alone in Dallas now, so I'm not really worried about that team too much. Brooklyn Nets don't look all that scary. Like, a lot of these teams are going to be good because 2K, like, inflates a lot of this stuff. But Jokic and Murray, never an easy out. The Pacers with Siakam and Halliburton still. Jarris Walker's getting a little better. Not really concerned. Zion is already out with a torn ACL. What the hell? They just went out and got some dudes, though. Oh, my goodness. Well, that's the New Orleans Pelicans for you. This Detroit Pistons team is just really, really deep. Cade Cunningham, Asar Thompson, they went and got DeAndre Ayton to play center. They just keep rotating new centers into this team. Here's the team we gotta beat. It looks like they brought back them boys. Like, it's looking like it's pretty much the same team as last year. There's Kobe Buffkin, our arch nemesis or whatever, but otherwise it's pretty much that same group, and that's a tough three to get by. The Rockets, they've got a good duo in Amen and Jalen Green. The Spurs. Holy 80 overalls. How deep does it go? Damn. There's a lot going on with this team, and there's Paul George. So Paul George is an 81. Where's James Harden at this point? Yeah, DeJounte Murray's still coming back from his injury. James Harden's just kind of low at this point. He's 37, so fair enough. Devin Booker's with a bunch of bums. Wouldn't be surprised if he ends up on the trade block at some point. The Thunder are going to be good. They're just going to be good for forever. Ant Edwards, Cat, McDaniels, Naz Reid still a thing. Not probably the best team. I'm not too worried about them. This Portland Trailblazers team is interesting with Şengün, Shaden Sharp, and Scoot. Not anything all that crazy. The Warriors still got Curry. They got Ivy. No, not too worried about that team either. The Wizards did get Luka Doncic. Okay, it's at the end of the day, they got Luka and decent basketball players, so we'll see what they end up doing with this group, but it's interesting nonetheless. Embiid and Maxey are still doing their thing. They've added Mathurin, Giannis with Lillard. Like, this team's just looking not that great at this point. Is Giannis going to be upset and want to get out at some point? Like, I'll take a phone call. The Bulls still suck because, of course, they do. The Cavs are still interesting. The Celtics are obviously going to be good because they've still got this three together, so that's cool. It looks like the Clippers are trying to blow things up slowly but surely. Fair enough. The Grizzlies, not anything all that crazy. Okay. I like our chances this year, y'all. We may not have, like, top-of-the-line talent, but it's young, and we're growing. So, hey, a little bit shorter episode for you guys this week. Just wanted to kind of take on the offseason. You guys let me know, again, how you kind of want me to tackle this season. Is this something you want me to speed through a little bit more? We're not wasting as much time, but, hey, until then, we'll talk to you guys later.